How do I create a 1-minute sales pitch for when I go introducing myself to businesses that have never met me? Today's Q on Thursday's Q&A. Hi, it's Kelly, it's a Made in Business, and thank you for being here for today's Q&A Thursday. Today's question goes a little bit something like this. I need a 1-minute sales pitch for when I go knocking on doors of the big buildings and businesses where sometimes it's hard to find the decision maker or who is in charge of the carpet cleaning within that building. Great question, great thought process, I can see where you're coming from. Canvassing, which is the sales term for door knocking on businesses to introduce yourself and your business, is a great way to start to introduce your services into the commercial and business sector. The one thing I would say you don't need to go canvassing is a 1-minute sales pitch. Going canvassing is very different from going networking, and it is also very different from cold calling. You can see a video here that I did a while ago on a 1-minute sales pitch. This video helps and shows you a couple of different techniques on how to introduce you or your business when you have 1 minute to speak in a network setting. When you go canvassing, you are probably, I would say, 9 times out of 10 not going to get the decision maker. Instead, you are going to meet their guard dog. The receptionists, the administrators, the frontline staff you encounter when you walk into a business are trained to guard and protect the managing directors, the CEOs, and anybody who is capable of signing a check and releasing budget. I know this because I do this. As my business has got busier and busier, I have a line of people who work with me, who intercept my calls. They are my gatekeepers. They are my guard dogs. You are not getting past those ladies unless I have given them a yes, I will speak to you. So in the case of going out into a new business, you don't want to walk in and pitch the receptionist. Number one, the receptionist does not care. Number two, the receptionist cannot sign you off budget. However, you do want to make friends with the receptionist, the administrator, the frontline staff, because these are the people who can gain you entrance into the business lounge and sign off of where you need to be. So you need to be friendly with these people, create a rapport with these people, and start a conversation. One of the main objectives of door knocking should be to information gather. If you walk into a building and you do happen to meet the decision buyer and get into a conversation with them and tell them all about your wonderful business and your services, then that is awesome, and go you. However, if you don't, and like I said, 9 times out of 10 you won't, you need to use the exercise for information gathering. So when you go into a building, first of all, you can visually see what the building is like and see what standard it has been kept to. You then want to approach the receptionist, the administrator, the front of house staff, introduce yourself, tell them all about why you're there and what you're about, and ask who is the main person that would be responsible for the carpet cleaning, for the window cleaning, for the office cleaning, whatever it is, the service that you provide. They might say, oh, it's Joe Bloggs, but you can't speak to him right now because he's in a meeting. Joe Bloggs probably is in a meeting. But every time that you try to ask for Joe Bloggs, he will permanently and perpetually be in a meeting. So my advice is thus. You need to collect a compliment slip, a letterhead, a business card, or any sort of company documentation that they might have in the front office. These types of documents will give you telephone numbers, fax numbers, who still uses fax? Email addresses, website addresses. They give you information about the company, what they do, how many sites they have, that kind of information. What you then need to do is take all of that information home and start to compile it in a database. So in that database, you would put 12th of Julember, called into Joe Bloggs' office, he was not available and in a meeting, collected company literature, left my name with the receptionist, said I'd give a call in a couple of days. So then what you want to do is either send him out something in the post, or you want to schedule to give him a call. The most important thing to do is to have a plan of action. You go out and canvass, you pick up the information, you find out who the decision makers are. You go home, you send them information, you send them an email, you book a follow-up call, you give them a call. If these are still no's, and sometimes they will be, a lot of the time they will be, you need to then schedule to give that person a call again in another 3 months or 6 months. Sometimes that client may be in contract with another commercial cleaner. So for example, if that person is in contract and it runs out in September, you want to plan to start contacting them again in July. We're going to talk about sales more over this coming year because it's one of the biggest things I feel that freak business owners out. If you don't come from a sales background or you don't have any sales training, the thought of approaching people that you've never spoke to before, the thought of calling people that you've never spoke to before can leave you rocking and crying in a corner. I can help you with this. We'll do it really slowly and we'll build a plan of attack on how we do everything from the canvassing, which we've now got nailed, right? We're then going to talk about cold calling, and we're also going to talk about face-to-face meetings and how we close the deal in each situation. Canvassing is awesome for commercial business. I would not recommend it for domestic business. You might really get on people's nerves, and I would imagine in certain parts of the country and countries you would probably need permits to be able to go and knock on people's doors and harass them in their homes. But for business to business, it's fine. Knock yourselves out. Get around industrial estates, get around business parks, get to networking events, and get meeting people and hustling and building that database. That was today's A from Q&A Thursday. I hope it has helped you think about canvassing a little bit more and what you can get from it. If you have a question about your cleaning business, be it about its branding, its sales, its marketing, or how to develop a plan for your business strategy, please contact me by any of the means that you will see floating around here. And I will be happy to feature them in a Q&A Thursday. You can find all of the links to where you can find me on social media down below. Please give me a thumbs up and be nice, and subscribe so that you can get my next videos. On Tuesday, I will be back here and we will be talking about preparing the sales calls to follow on from the canvassing. Good luck with your canvassing. Let me know how you go. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.